everybody. Welcome back to my channel again. Live stream number 2 for today. Heading to the Greater Johnstown Redevelopment Authority, aka the sewer system, the people that own the sewers, who I pay. No meeting today? Yeah. Oh, there is? Oh. I thought that said it was rescheduled. Or is that next week? Am I crazy? Okay. Cool. I guess there is a meeting. I was confused.
Johnny, you made it.
I did make it. I always try to make it if I can.
I mean, you got tied up for you.
Oh, I was tied up, but I made it.
Bruce, are you on the phone?
You don't have a quorum yet. See you.
Okay. Yes.
Can you hear?
No, yes.
I promise not to get anybody. Here, I'll grab it for you.
No, you mind if I just slide over here? Bill, thanks. Is it be right? Mind if I stand here? Is that okay? Do you mind? Thanks, Mark. Try and stay out of the way. No, I don't mind standing. If I get tired, I'll find a place to sit.
The first 3 items don't require public action, so yes, we I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, start with a prayer. Lord, please help us to work to make a better city. Please help us to be uniters, not dividers. We thank you for this great gift of American democracy. Amen. Okay, we've got a roll call here. I think we've got some other stuff, but you can start.
Mr. Pascarella,
Here.
Ms. Ray, Mr. Hasselring,
Here.
Ms. Hugo's not here,
I'm not sure. She didn't say she wasn't going to. She might be.
and Mr. Drusell is gonna be presenting this.
Okay. Prior to the first action, we need to add to the minutes that the authority held an executive session concerning real estate issues on April 25th, 2024. You got that? Okay. Now we need approval of the minutes.
We did yesterday. Yesterday, February 1st.
Yes. Yes. So, and also, May 20th, 2024, we held an executive session concerning personnel matters. Okay, do we have a motion to accept all those minutes?
So,
Is there a second out there?
I'll second it.
Okay.
Second.
Okay.
Pascarella,
Yes.
Ms. Ray, yes, Mr. Hasselray.
Yes. Okay, and now we got public comments before we turn it to the people. Is anybody on the phone who has public comments? We can announce yourself
On agenda items.
on agenda items. Okay, I'm not hearing anybody. You're up, whoever wants to speak. Yes, sir.
For the record, John D. Bartola, 1197 Bedford Street, Johnstown, PA. I want to talk about 3 agenda items, agenda item D and E. Melissa, you're always so good about giving me information. I never have to write to know, but I would like to know, what are the 14 properties, and what about the property on Walnut Street? Here's a new list. You can email it to me. You always do. I always ask.
Michelle will give it to you.
I appreciate that. What I really want to talk about is agenda item D. I'm really not happy that the JRA is giving the War Memorial indirect through proxy $30,000 from our sewer fees to help maintain the conference center. Now, I got this from a right to know request from the city of Johnstown. It was in the newspaper without the amount. How can this authority raise my sewer fees $2 a year, was $1 a year, and then give $30,000 for the next 5 years, being $150,000 in the course of 5 years to pay the bills over at the conference center? That's a mismanagement and it's wasted money. Mr. Pascarelli, you are the chairman of Crown American, I believe. When you had the War Memorial contract, you didn't do the repairs on that building. How can you make this authority that you're on pay the bills because you screwed up? I believe it's criminal what you're doing. I complained about you using the land bank as your own private judicial sale. Now you're using your ability to use taxpayer money to pay your old conference center. This should not be, we voting this no. If you have $150,000 extra lying around, I demand you lower the sewer fees and give us our money back. Stop having the taxpayers pay because you screwed up. I'm really upset about this. This is something that people like Senator Langerholt's aide is here, Congressman Joyce's aide is here. They should be filing criminal charges because you're doing this. How can you misuse our sewer money in this fashion? I'm just shocked. I hope you respond. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna have a discussion on how we're funding this and how the JRA is funded. Do we wanna do this now, or do we do it in the course of the meeting? Or
We can do it now.
let's do it now.
JRA and JRS are completely separate accounts. Every time you speak courtesy before, you refer to JRS dollars for items such as the land bank. The land bank is a completely separate, and it was brought up again today during your comment. Land bank is a completely separate line item that was funded through the city at $150,000. We are at very close to 150. The majority of the fees are taken care of through the property transfers. So therefore, that has absolutely nothing to do with sewer dollars, was never in a sewer account. As far as this specific topic, we have properties that we have since sold. We have revenues that are brought in for lease agreements that are in our JRA budget, not our JRS budget, to fund projects such as this.
Then why didn't you help prior manager when you had the opportunity 6 months ago? Why now help an out-of-state Chicago-based company? Why not help somebody local?
Was it brought to our attention to help them with that?
I read in the newspaper it was. I read it this morning.
No
online.
one ever approached JRA.
I literally spoke to Dustin, who has a recording of you on a meeting discussing all this like 6 months ago, where all the groups got together. I actually heard parts of it.
That was whenever you chose to, you were no longer interested. You have something prior to that?
That's why I'm interested.
Okay.
I just am curious. We were still interested, but that's why I'm here to listen.
Okay.
And we're not, I mean, we don't, that's a war memorial issue and a city issue.
But you're giving my money. We're paying fees for whether it's a budget or not. It's still taxpayer money in this for your government agency.
That the revenues are brought in through lease agreements.
But you're still putting taxpayer money that you control to an entity you don't even
We're
own.
using governmental money.
It's still,
We don't charge taxes.
but you're
We
still
do not have
using,
the power to tax, John, so
but
it's
you
not
have extra
taxpayer
money.
money.
We're
It's
trying-
governmental money. Governmental money is subject to lots of rules, but it's not taxpayer money.
And lower our fees, stop spending it on other
Do we have
projects.
anyone else for public comment?
Do you want to speak?
I just wanted to put it on the record.
Sure, go ahead.
didn't take much time.
Can you state your name?
Yes. Dustin Green, owner, operator, Top Dog Productions, former management of the conference center. I will give you these. This is just a screenshot of the meeting date. I sat down with you for the final meeting that day to kind of just give one last plea to the community. You can see the attendees on that meeting. Some of the highlights are your organization, Chamber, Jari, the big companies in town that do business in this community. We sat down with Ethan Imhoff and city leaders to say, we need help to run the conference center. And that meeting was that last cry to say, we need help or we're out. And as a young business leader in this town, it's that moment where the wrecking ball has to come out before it gets knocked down, before somebody else comes in and saves it. And that's why I'm heartbroken today. My time has passed with the conference center, and I have to let it go. But I lived, breathed, and loved that building. I took care of it for 3 years when nobody else would. And I'm frustrated to see now that all these entities that are on that meeting have come to the rescue now of that building because it was threatened to be closed. When I stood there in front of all of you and I asked for help, a local business, we were going to create local jobs. I'll give you the scenario I gave to my chefs today before I left. I have 2 chefs that work at Aces, my firm. I said, they're brothers. I said to the older brother and the younger brother, I said, wouldn't it have been nice if the younger brother, you, could have stayed at Aces as the main chef and the older brother would have went to the conference center to grow? That can't happen now. That dream is gone. And now a big corporation is going to get the contract and money, and it's going to be all taken out of our community. And that's why I'm frustrated, because the local options with Flair of Country and Top Dog are gone. There was no opportunity to come back at us and say, you know what, there are local monies available. You had the opportunity in September or October to say, we want to help. And everybody said no, including your organization. And now all of a sudden, you are helping, because you know why? It almost closed. It almost turned into the public safety building. And now everybody wants to help. And it's sad. And it will go on under a different management group. And that's why I'm here today. And that's why I'm a little upset. And that's why I'm a little heartbroken.
Was this the meeting that was, I'm sorry, you didn't, I don't want to. Is this meeting that you gave this, is this the one that we met in the conference room at City Hall that you were at?
Yes.
Whenever you called in, when we were all there?
Yes.
Okay. I specifically, from the very beginning, said, what can we do to make this work? From day one, whenever I said to Ethan, we need to give homework, we need to come back at what we can do with it.
Yes, and I
I
said,
never one time, like me, sitting in the room as the redevelopment authority. I mean, did I say that?
I remember that everybody was given a number. I said $300,000.
You did.
I did.
Yes.
Because we had P&L statements provided to you from a
Correct.
year's worth of data that Crown never provided. We went in blank. We provided the city the data they needed to know what a business would be down there.
Correct.
We provided a number. We said $300,000 would provide enough for marketing, would provide enough for salaries for a janitor, for a chef, all that. And it's funny, now in 2024, $290,000 has come to fruition from local entities.
But whenever we talk about everyone saying no, is that that's what you took from that meeting? I mean, we were trying to brainstorm during that.
I
This one
understand
you
that.
sent out there.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. When we left that meeting, we said, this is what we need. And after that, everything was put on the table, or else the conference center would close in February. And that's where I'm saying, that was where it left. And that's what transpired over the next couple of months.
Correct.
And so on and so forth. In February occurred and our contract was not renewed.
And then did the city RFP there was an ad placed to.
So,
Could I say something here?
well, we have our 3 minutes.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just wanted to set the
No, I
record here
just
that I
want to
was there.
say something here. Number one, I think Dustin has always done a good job when he managed the conference center with the AV. I really respect his work. Number two, I have to answer Mr. DiBartolo because he's defaming our employees who manage that center, saying they trashed it basically. No, that's not true. Come on, John. And I have to defend them because it would be unfair if I didn't. And I'd like that, this handout here, let's add it to the record. And then I have something to add to the record too. And I have 6 handouts here. I'll give them to our, one of our folks is on here. So I asked this to be entered in the record, a rather personal attack on myself, which also directly named this authority. Recently, in response to the sale of Crown American Hotels Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Johnstown State Rep Frank Burns, Democrat of East Taylor Township, posted to over 6,000 member online chat group, that's yours, John, a comment asking, at what point does the city realize this guy shouldn't be the leader of our economic, of our city's redevelopment authority, sewer authority, and any economic development plans? Burns added that since Mark took over the company from his father, all that's left is nearly the empty former construction building on Franklin Street, which might make a really nice IMAX theater someday. That was good. I asked without objection that a copy of Burns's remarks be entered into the record. I would first note that I was elected to the chair of this authority by my fellow members, and I serve as chair at their pleasure. I regret that Representative Burns' personal animosity toward me has created a challenging environment for this authority to work with Representative Burns in creating a better Johnstown for all. It's my belief that this recent outburst is a result of Representative Burns and his lobbyists' current disappointment with the authority, standing our ground in the atrium personal care home auction as the person most opposed to Coral Nielsen's purchase of the building is a longtime client of Representative Burns' lobbyists. We are seeking to work proactively with Representative Burns. Johnstown deserves leadership that can communicate with each other. If Representative Burns or his lobbyists take issues with the decision of this board, we request that he expresses criticism in a more productive manner than individual ad hominem attacks on social media. The board will not be bullied by Facebook comments from elected officials or swayed by the financial interests of lobbyists. Thank you. Here's yours. Okay, let's get into our business here, our regular business, and we have your report, I think.
Good afternoon, everyone. The JRA received an update this morning from the State Theater Foundation. They had met last night and are still interested in moving forward with the deed restriction. Once I had met with the foundation members, we reached out to Conemaugh to set up a meeting. So I asked if we could get some dates and times for the next 2 weeks to be able to have some discussion with Conemaugh. The foundation has some discussion they would like to have with them.
Could you just explain what you mean by moving forward with the deed?
That even though that there's a deed restriction that could potentially eliminate IMAX, that they're still interested in working through other potential ways to restore and save the State Theater. The JRA is currently applying for blight elimination dollars for the Cornerstown section of Johnstown. The main focus is the Sheasley's concrete building on Corner Street. We had received some, feedback from Cliff Kittner with the Conservation and Rec Authority about that property. And we are going to submit a joint application between the city, the county, and the authority in hopes to be able to clean up that area there along Corner Street.
Perfectly relative to
It could be. Whenever I met with the Community Foundation last week, it was one of the key projects that we discussed. So if we have to leverage, we can do that also. The continuous meetings with both Infomark and EADS regarding the H2O and small sewer and water grants, as well as the consent order and agreement. Tom had sent over this week, dates for a potential meeting with DEP, so I will keep the board updated as far as that meeting goes moving forward. Pending board approval, 339 Walnut Street will be advertised for sale. I was asked by the board to include questions for the sale of the property, once we receive economic development plans with potential interest. Those questions, and if there's anything that we did not cover here that any of the board members would like to see, please let me know. What is the reuse of the structure? Will the building be restored or demolished? Please provide a list of investments / improvement costs to the property. Will you be willing to work with outside entities for parking during scheduled events? What are your thoughts on ownership of the adjacent parcels? Please provide both positive and negative feedback. Please provide any jobs created or retained based on this acquisition. Is there anything else that we didn't cover that any of you would like to see?
Yeah, I think since Wayne's representative is here, Jim, we're working on the infrastructure at the urban industrial park. And I served on a transition committee for Governor Shapiro on economic development. And one of his main planks was to remove barriers for approvals. So we may be needing your help on getting our DEP approvals there.
We just received an email this morning, that was what I was going into, after 339 Walnut, that they are requesting a full permit rather than a small projects permit, and this has been going on for quite some time. And I have a breakdown now, they're requesting H&H, HOP's overall site plan of development for the 115 acre site. I can email you all of this, but I think it might be time later to have some in-depth discussions. We just continue to not be able to fulfill potential opportunities there because of the final permit.
Sounds good.
Okay, thanks so much. And the authority submitted an addendum to the original DCED grant for blight elimination that was funded in 2021 for commercial demo, and the CFA board meets today. So I will give an update next month on how that meeting goes at the state level. The land bank properties will transfer over the next 3 weeks pending board approval on each parcel today. So as you see, there's a list of each parcel that was acquired per the resolutions that were approved and who the new owners will be. So if there's any questions, just let me know. There's a very large packet. And also, if you have time after the meeting, Camille Taylor, from Camille's House of Style, she reached out for some interest of maybe some storage container shops underneath the parking garage over by 339 Walnut Street, and put together a little model and some renderings of what she would, if there's any interest in the authority, that she would like to have some discussion with us. And it's set up in the room back here if anybody would like to see it. She did a really nice job just to present her vision to all of us. And that is all I have.
I think you inadvertently skipped the Canterbury Route project.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
The Cambria Route project, we are continuing to wait to hear from EPA. What the question is right now is if there was a phase 1 done whenever First National Bank owned the property. And we are waiting, we didn't hear back from them. We are waiting to hear back from F&B's real estate to see if there was an original phase 1 done of the property whenever, was it a foreclosure? I don't want to speak out of turn.
No, I think it was amicable.
Amicable.
They were behind in the payment.
Okay.
I think he did not.
Okay, so we're waiting to see, there had to have been a phase 1 done in order to start the process, so that's what we're waiting for the real estate team.
And are you gonna talk about that grant reallocation?
That was the DCD grant for blight elimination.
Okay.
They meet today. See if
They
they-
meet today?
Yes.
Right, okay, all right, is that it?
That's it. If there's any questions?
Any further questions? Okay, we'll move on to the finance director's report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Since last month, there has been an increased interest in the sewer lateral loan and sewer lateral grant programs. I know several municipalities have been sending out letters to homeowners who are not in compliance, so this has initiated discussions among the staff to reopen the program to homeowners residing outside of the city. I spoke with Joel from Wessel, and he feels that the authority is currently in a strong financial position and agrees that we can reopen the program with limits. The whole home repairs program has slowed down a little bit, however, we have already spent almost 80% of the total grant award. The 2023 audit is currently underway. Young Oaks and Brown has been here several times this month and will be back again next week to wrap things up. I'll provide more updates at next month's meeting. Young Oaks typically has the audit completed by the end of June. Okay. The cash disbursements for the month of April. Cambria Ironworks, $28,911.89. The Grant Partnership Fund, $7,602.10. Centertown Mall, $11,808.85. The revolving account, $236,363.19. Johnstown Regional Sewage, $750,356.76, with the total disbursements for the month of April being $1,035,042.79. That's kind of fast. Any questions? You're welcome.
Okay, we have next the sanitary sewer.
All right, briefly, Penvest number 7, still waiting for the final inspection. Seems like a broken record. Interceptor maintenance projects, basically the maintenance project that was budgeted for this year has been completed through the Vine Street activity. We looked at the available funds from the budget and we're brainstorming some smaller projects, if you would, that would be brought forth with investigating the condition of some of the larger diameter pipes that haven't been revisited in quite some time. So we're looking at developing some costs in consultation with Mike and coming back with the potential for doing sonar and closed circuit televising of those large diameter lines later on this year. That's the interceptor maintenance projects. Consent order activities, progress number 32, for the 6-month period ending June 30th will be due in July. No comments or questions have been received from the prior report. Work on the next report will be commencing in the next 30 days, starting with the reminder letters to be sent to the municipalities to update their activities within that 30-day or 6-month period. Recall the 8 flow monitors that were installed in the SSOs 2 months ago now. We went through a substantial rain event the first week of April. I think there were 6.5 to maybe 8 inches of rain recorded for that. The good news on that is we had 2 of the SSOs that were active out of the 8. So that was a substantial rain event, and 6 of the SSOs had no activity, which is another indicator that the projects seem to have accomplished a lot of their end goals. That's good news. Those flow monitors will be in for another 2 weeks and subsequently removed. The NPDS renewal application, no comments have yet been received on that. That's been submitted in late September of last year. We expect some comments momentarily. And as Melissa reported, we're more aggressively pursuing the H2O and small water systems grant with the project and bringing that project within the available grant funds that were received. Because obviously we requested more grant funds than what was received. So we have to keep this project scope within the available allowance, but scale it back and still come up with a reasonable project. So we're brainstorming that. The wastewater treatment projects, I have no report on that. I know the staff's been working on the SCADA system and the long-range capital improvements, but my activity has been limited for the month of April to May.
I know you're not working on the SCADA system, but when we do get the sewage operations report, since we have some distinguished visitors here, I hope you can explain the SCADA system to them.
Hey, Tom, I got a question.
Right.
On the meters, and the SSO activity, I guess it's the one south one, that doesn't surprise me, I think we mentioned it last month, but, Bridge Street is, I mean, historically, there's been an issue out in that area.
Historically, yes, and I don't wanna underestimate the activity, but it was a very small period of time with a low period of flow during that substantial rain. It was active, I report it was activity, but not for a long duration and not for.
Not like it was
No,
years.
not nearly what it used to be.
Okay, thanks a lot, Tom.
Any other questions?
Okay, that's.
Morning. I'll be brief, but basically, we're going to echo what Tom was talking about, but I do want to make a point in this in my report. A lot of the work that is taking place down at the sewage plant, and also we're continuing to review all the contracts, and one of them is going to be hopefully approved today. But I do want to compliment Mike Sabo and his staff down there. Again, our commitment is to make sure that that facility remains and always in the utmost condition. And Mike is, and his staff have been doing a lot of the work, otherwise we would have to be contracting out. So again, we're continuing with capital improvement planning and also the work that is taking place down there. Mark, as to SCADA, for my information, there is no new information to be forward to the board. I'll let Mike speak on that after my report. Again, we're looking at a meeting with DEP, and based on our abatement program or commitment that is in there, Tom is going to, next board meeting, I think, review all the data that is coming from the flow meters, and then within a week later, meet with DEP and discuss the abatement plan. So that's moving on. Also, what Tom talked about was a project that we're looking at really in the Cooper Avenue interceptor line all the way down, for the most part, down to the plant. It was a project that was done 15 years ago on Roosevelt Boulevard, where it is a sonar device is going to be utilized to take a look at the overall structure of the pipe, and also to identify any kind of debris in there. So we're working on that and trying to get some estimates there. Blight remediation, I'm working on estimates to improve a number of the properties out there. And outside of that, that's all I have. Is there any questions? Thank you.
Can you address SCADA?
Sure.
Because that's the state-of-the-art system for sewage management. So speak a little about it.
At the present time, we do not have a SCADA system, so our operators on an 8-hour shift, they might be able to take 3 readings of a meter. Okay? So what SCADA does is it's updating every 10 seconds, taking it through. What it's gonna do is help trim costs on chemicals and stuff. We get it trending and see where we can improve or trim on chemicals and basically how we operate. And can help out the costs.
And when do you think the installation will be completed?
yesterday I just received the thing from the engineer, how they're gonna set up the IA boards down in the gallery, in the garage and stuff like that, and, we're supposed to have a meeting next week, which Mike's gonna attend. We're trying to get some costs on the conduit and the wiring versus radios, and so we can pass it back and forth.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, you're up, Bill.
Okay, resolution C, with the Ameriserv Bank, I briefly mentioned this at the last meeting, it's on the resolution now. Ameriserv Bank will pay us $2,000 on our second mortgage, for the release of second mortgage. Second mortgage amounts to $4,700 right now. But Kelly Paloff has moved out of the house, her husband died, she moved out of the house. It's in default on the mortgage, and the bank could foreclose. They said $3,500 to $4,000 would be the cost of it, and they offered to split that with us. So that's what this is about. And then I just want to point out an actual fact about Resolution G, which is the one for the 5-year agreement with the Cambria County War Memorial. So fact number one, we are entering an agreement to provide assistance to another governmental agency, the Cambria County War Memorial Authority. We are not hiring SMG, we are not hiring another private party, as was mentioned by, now, what the War Memorial Authority does is what they do. They have to follow the same basic rules requiring procurement that we have to follow. But fact-wise, we're not giving money. We're not funding a private organization. We're funding the Cambria County War Memorial. Fact two, if you go to exhibit, if you go to the portion of the agreement that is Exhibit G, and you go to the second page of that agreement, you'll see what the money that's being promised on. The bulk of this money comes from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. If you add up the numbers, they come to $190,000, not $290,000, as the person who was commenting said. And basically, if we're talking about what's good for the taxpayers to accomplish something, the War Memorial is saying they can do it for $110,000 less than the person who was complaining that we can give them $300,000 money. And I just want the board to be aware of those facts were said, they were not true. The other thing going on is the Atrium Manor. We're expecting to close on the Atrium sale either tomorrow or Thursday. And everything is in order to do that according to prior board authorizations.
The Center for Metal Arts.
Hmm?
The Center for Metal Arts.
Oh. We received Friday an agreement from the Center of Metal Arts. They have found good news, they have found interim financing from First National Bank to carry out their project in about $6 million to carry forward their project. Part of that, the bank said they will agree to do that, but only if we assign the proceeds of the grant to the bank. Now, assigning the proceeds doesn't mean that the bank takes over and starts running it. It's just they have a legal right to attach the proceeds if Center for Metal Arts doesn't make the repayments on the loan. And we're not on the hook for the loan. We're not being asked to sign on the loan. We're not being asked to guarantee it. All we're being asked to do is to assign the proceeds of the grant, which is a relatively risk-free process.
Okay, anything else? Bill? Anything for our counselor here? Okay, and we're gonna move into the resolution. So first, we gotta have a motion to approve all these reports. Is there a second? Second. Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Drusilla?
Yes.
Ms. Yuko?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay, now we're gonna go through the resolutions and motions. A resolution of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Johnstown authorizing payment of certain obligations related to sewage operations in accordance with standing resolution number 3869. Is there a motion for approval? Is there a second? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay, B, a resolution of the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown amending a grant application for the community conservation and recreation program of the Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and Natural Resources Resolution number 4930, passed March 22nd, 2024, in the amount of $300,000. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay. C, a resolution for the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown releasing a second mortgage issued under the sewer lateral loan program on the property of Kelly Paylov at 132 C Street in exchange for a payment of $2,000 from Ameris Bank. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay, D, a resolution of the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown as the land bank authorizing the sale of 14 properties to the parties listed for the price listed. The parties shall pay all recording and transfer costs. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll second it.
Okay. Approved. Motion and second, and roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay, E, a resolution of the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown authorizing the advertisement and sale of property located at 339 Walnut Street, Johnstown, PA, tax map number 71-005 -200.000. Is there a motion, please?
So
I'll
moved.
make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call,
Mr. Pascarella?
yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. F, a resolution of the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown authorizing the award of contract number 2024-WWTP-2 to Univar Solutions of Morrisville, PA, for the bulk purchase of sodium bisulfate for the Dornet Point wastewater treatment plant. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay. G, a resolution of the redevelopment authority of the city of Johnstown authorizing a 5-year agreement with the Cambria County War Memorial Authority regarding the Frank J. Pascarella Conference Center. Is there a motion for approval?
I make the motion. I'll second it. Bruce Hassler makes the motion.
Okay.
Before we vote, I'd like to ask the solicitor, because the city owns the conference center, does it represent any conflict of interest for me to vote on this matter?
Conflict of interest would have to be personal to you.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Trucello?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Okay, do we have any table matters? I don't think we do. We don't have any new business.
I just want to add something.
Yes, sir.
I think the information put together on the land bank is very good. Usually if we share, I came in late, so I don't know if we shared with city council.
Yes, we sent them all the resolutions out. We did a land bank update at their council meeting, and then there was a request for an update on all the addresses that we've transferred, and we send those the next day to Ethan and Sylvia. who
I'll
requested them.
forward that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to say the same thing, so I piggyback on this, that the information was very good, I really appreciate it. And also appreciate the information that Bill gave us on the facts concerning the, conference center. Appreciate that.
And, before we start the public comment, we have our distinguished visitors here. Is it kosher for them, in your opinion, to speak after we do the official comments?
Or before.
We'll let,
Just have 3 comments, just to confirm off of Melissa's report. So the State Theater is gonna continue its presentations, plays, but not movies or IMAX, potentially.
The only two things they have scheduled aren't movies or IMAX.
Okay, so they're gonna move forward without,
Yes,
so they're gonna
there's
honor.
2 events scheduled this month.
I read your response to the Greater Johnstown Water Authority. I was a little disappointed. You read like Solicitor Barb wrote it, and that it was a legal response. I was looking for more explanation as to, I guess I didn't understand it.
What parts did you miss?
The fact that it read like a stereo instructions,
But what parts?
the whole thing. The fact that it really didn't address it, and I'm
Well,
not a sore cried, and that's something we can discuss later, because I don't have the full answers.
Okay.
As for the conference center deal, again, the $300,000, Mr. Barber, came from the fact the city pays $100,000 for the utilities and the bills, plus the $190 from all the area nonprofits and you, that's $290,000, that's almost $300,000. Again, it sounds like a pass-through. You give money to this one, it's like a shell game, and that's why so many of us in the community don't agree with this. One government entity gives money to somebody else, and it goes back and forth and round and round. Think of how it looks. I always ask this question, are these programs sustainable? And the fact that we're losing population and the area continues to go downhill, despite what you want, the narrative you're portraying towards us, we're not sustaining. We're doing government grants and handouts and government money, however you want to phrase it, to keep something going that's not going to make it, just like the state theater. Thank you.
yeah, I just want to bring to everyone's attention what happened in Monroeville, the Monroeville Convention Center. They may call it something else, but that was having problems. The landlord of the Monroeville Mall had a deal for Hobby Lobby. There was a great uproar about it, and the people in Allegheny County, all the state legislators, the county executives, they all rallied around and saved that project. It's an interesting case study because they found that it was so important that multiple government officials had to step in and keep that open, and it exists today as the Monroeville Convention Center. That may not be its official name, but it's basically a convention center.
One last thing, can I have a copy of your response on the record, Representative Burns? Yeah, thank you.
And maybe now we can have some comments.
No, that's
Justin,
And
okay,
so
sorry.
I do wanna state publicly that you were there. I wanna make sure the board knows you were attending the meeting, you were conversating back and forth. I just wanna say that.
No, this is public comment on items not on the agenda.
Okay, that's fine, I understand, I will let that go. But, and yes, to reiterate that, yes, the 100,000 was from the.
That's not what our agreement says.
You can't sign this and
That's
like
not what
that.
we approved.
He's allowed to have his 2 minutes, Bill, you know better.
That's.
John, you're wrong. It's not, you're wrong about most everything that comes out of your mouth.
So someone can't speak for their 2 minutes at the end of the meeting or what they want to talk about.
I would like to hear.
Not when they've already used their time on matters that were on the agenda.
They haven't used their time. Objection to the sunshine law. I object to the sunshine laws. He has 2 minutes to speak. Give him the 2 minutes to speak, please.
Respectful, and I was trying to be respectful, so
It's
I
fine,
was,
listen.
Let Dustin
I was
speak.
being respectful, I started.
Well, the board wants to hear
Mr.
it.
Barber,
Yes, the board would like to hear. Thank you.
I was trying to be respectful, did I not start very nicely?
Please continue.
I started very nicely.
You're always a respectful, nice person.
Exactly.
Dustin.
And I'm going to change my tone for my 2 minutes. I'm not going to talk about the agenda. I'm going to take my 2 minutes to talk about something else.
Go ahead, sir.
The younger generation of this community. me. Mr. Sir,
I didn't hear your last word, Mr. What?
Mr. Sir, 'cause that's how I think of you. You just silenced me. You silenced me. You silenced me for no reason. I started off very respectful.
You've already.
I started off very respectful. I started off very respectful by taking care of Melissa. Our generation is tired of people like you, sir. I'm not tired of Mark Pascarella. I'm not tired of Miss Buchel. Herkel. I'm not tired of Melissa. The conference center tired me. I tried to save it. And I failed because no one helped me. You didn't give me a chance to say thank you, sir. I was trying to say, Melissa, you listened at the meeting. Thank you. I appreciate it. I wanted to tell you, sir, that the $100,000 was added for the city paying the utilities. That's where you were incorrect with your defense. So it is $290,000. So it isn't fair for you to say I was incorrect. That's what I wanted to put on the record. And that's why I'm here today, because I'm just tired of trying to help things in this community and getting stepped on. So I'm going to go back to my business and try to do things there and work. So thank you for your time. I will sit here for the rest of the meeting and finish listening to what you have to say.
Okay, well, thank you, and we appreciate you coming. And if our distinguished state and federal visitors have something they want to say.
Do I not get to speak? I'm a member of the public. I'd like to speak, and I don't want to stand over to the podium if that's okay. I would like to bring up a fact that, Mark, you wanted to put on the record Representative Frank Burns's comment on Facebook, which you were so out of touch that you don't realize the narrative that the people out there believe is what he said. Okay, you are one. I will say this every month on the record. You are one of the problems with the government. Okay, you inherited enough money from your daddy and your mommy that you can go up on the Hill and stay the fuck out of this stuff. And Mr. Barban, you are a problem too.
So,
You are a problem too.
order in this meeting. I'm taking.
It's called the First Amendment.
Got 2 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. Hugel. Thank you for giving me my 2 minutes to speak and not violating my First Amendment right. That's all I have to say.
That's it? Okay, do we have anybody else who wants to speak?
Hard to follow that, right?
All right, let's have a motion to adjourn, I believe.
So moved.
Is there a second? Roll call, please, let's make it official.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Ms. Wright? Yes. Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Mr. Trisella?
Yes.
Mr. Hassel?
What?
Yeah.
That's the dress for the roof. That's the roof of the conference center. And here's the pipe first.
So, please, chaps.
Excuse me, when you adjourned here.
See outside.
Yeah. Hi, my name's John Klanch. I'm pleased to meet you, sir.
I'm pleased to meet you. I have to go back.
Okay.
There's nothing.
Thank you for speaking your mind. I'm a YouTuber and I like to bring light to this situation.
I
And
saw you.
thank you.
Yes. I'm sorry. I need to go.
Okay. Have a good day, bud.
I appreciate it. I'm not mad at you.
I know. I understand it's a stressful thing, man. But hey, thanks.
I have to go do my.
Thank you.
You have some papers for me, you're gonna email me later, I think you're probably busy. Mark put a response from Representative Burns that I could have a copy of. You want to send it to me later? I know you're busy, you're always good about that.
Yeah, I'll have to get it done because I don't have.
Let me send you a reminder email, you just, I will. Thank you, have a good day.
Still live. Nobody
That's
watching.
okay.
We're still live, Johnny.
Marvin doesn't like people talking out. Laura tried to silence me during my first. Up for Dustin, they would have silenced him too.
I know you realize. Oh shit! Sorry. What's that?
That door.
Oh.
Let's go in the chamber.
No.
We'll go see him. Here's a poster.
Yeah, absolutely.
And go stand by Vermont City.
Absolutely, man. Here, we can just go this way, and I can spin around. Yeah, well, here's what we're gonna do, so we can see what you're saying.
Oh.
How about that, John?
You can't. Let's hold it. Here. So we're outside the JRA, the Love My City sign. There's no nice way of putting it. This meeting was, as Solicitor Barbin said, he said they lost control. Did they lose control? 3 residents asked questions. The minute 1 resident spoke within 10 seconds, silence.
Yeah.
Forcing Johnny and I to do a Sunshine Act complaint, let them speak, and Barbin continued to try to silence.
Yeah.
He tried to silence you.
Yeah.
This is not the way it's supposed to go. I think Barbin was very frustrated. You're good. That's all I have to say.
As far as he's a solicitor, he's an attorney, he's a hired attorney. He should just sit there and just, if there's any legal problems, speak on the legal
here's the
problems,
thing.
you know.
I don't think Dustin was going to go as dark as he did.
Right, no.
Until they shut him down. Then he
Yeah.
was mad.
Yeah. I wanted to speak with him afterwards. He was pretty upset, which is fine.
He
You know, I understand that, you know, I wouldn't blame him, you know. I mean, it's,
So that's my commentary, people. I'm heading to my next meeting. Enjoy.
as always, John, it's fun. I'll see you, buddy. I'm staying live. I'm going to do my wrap up here. So yeah. Okay. So, hey, everybody, again, if you like what you see, leave a comment. If you don't like what you see, leave a comment.
Anyway.
Right. How you guys doing today?
Now.
In a second.